background. Don't think that he's a Hollywood actor. No, he is not. Maybe he's working sometime there as well. But this guy is a famous author. His name is Jawad Ahson. He is a very professional person who helps to make teams stronger. He was working 13 years in General Electric company, and he was making his team very strong. And also he is CFO at Ahson company. So a talented and super powerful man. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. For you, it's good morning. For you, it's good evening. Thank you so much.
Good evening to you.
Thank you so much. Our pleasure. My first question to you, since you're a specialist in making strong leaders, as a leader of the team, what do you recommend to do if you don't have power yourself? You know, sometimes we are, I will also put myself as a leader because I have a team of people with whom I'm working and who are precious to me. This is the team of Hidden Hero. And my team is in different places. Part of the team is in Dubai, part of the team is in Moscow, part of the team is in Kazakhstan. And it's very difficult to unite everybody together because we're in different places. What to do for the leader to be always full of energy, like you are? What are you doing? Tell me, please. Are there any secrets for that? For the leader himself, because to make your team strong, the leader should be strong. And sometimes, you know, if you're overwhelmed by the news, by everything that's going on in the world, how to keep your presence and how to be powerful and cheerful for your team?
You know, one of the things you mentioned a couple of times was this notion of power. And I would tell you that one of the most important lessons I learned in my career is that real leaders lead through influencing and not through just, you know, the perception of power, because you can give anyone a title, you can give anyone authority. And the difference between a real leader and someone who is just in a leadership position is if people listen to that person because they have to versus if they want to. So, you know, I could make you the CEO or CFO of a company tomorrow, and people will listen to you because of your title. But that's very different from them wanting to listen to you. And what I've learned is that real leadership comes through building relationships. Even in my position, my CEO, right? We have a board. He doesn't get to just dictate, you know, directives. In my role, myself, I like to build consensus. We get consensus amongst my team, with the other executives, with our board of directors, and it's very much, you know, you don't really find, at least in the corporate setting, that people are just barking orders. Sometimes, you know, in politics, it seems like it's that way, but, you know, in business, the best thing you can do is learn to lead through influencing. And the best way you can do that is if you have a team, or you're part of a situation where you don't necessarily have that power. That's where I really learned, you know, how to get things done without having that authority. That's one of the most important things you can do. And then in these current times, when you have a team like yours that's so distributed, everyone's distributed to a degree these days. My team is mostly here in Scottsdale, but we're all on Zoom, right? I don't see them. They might as well be, you know, in Kazakhstan or somewhere else. You really have to care. You've got to make an effort. There's a saying, out of sight, out of mind. And it's true, right? If you're not making the effort to get in front of your people, they're not going to feel that connection with you, right? So you've got to set up one-on-ones with them. We actually did a team building event last week. We did an event called Escape the Room. I don't know if you've ever done one of these in person. You get with your team in person in a room and you solve different puzzles. You move from one puzzle to the next, and then you get to escape the room. We did one of those events over Zoom, where it was a Zoom. Someone had set up, you know, a bunch of different websites that you go to. And in order to move to the next website, you've got to solve a puzzle. You do it collectively. That was a great team building event. There's lots of things like that you can do with your team. So just getting out in front of them and making the time to connect with them. The other thing I would encourage is you should separate the meetings you have with your team, the one-on-ones. Everyone likes to do one-on-ones. The one-on-ones, the tactical items where you're talking about work that needs to get done, try to create a document that you can share with your team and say, here are the things, you know, here are like the 5 things that I'm tracking that you need to get done, and let the person update that document. And if you need to meet to discuss live, then okay, you can do that. But you should try to save your live meetings for non-urgent things, so you can actually talk to the person and connect with them. How was your weekend? How was your vacation? I know you went, on vacation with your family last week. Let's talk about, you've been in the role for a couple of years now. What would you like to do next? Is there any education or, additional training we can give you? Those types of things, right? You want to do that in a way where you're not then following up with, okay, where are you with this, this deliverable I gave you?
Actually, I like very much what you said, that you should be very creative nowadays. I like that you give these tasks in Zoom. This is actually very nice, because every person will feel that they know who else is doing what, and it's wonderful to meet together. And it's actually very creative what you are doing, because you're thinking about people, but also you're finding some smart ways to reach their hearts. You wrote a book about why, if I say the name correctly, why they didn't tell me about that. It's something like this. Now I cannot find, where is that? Why they didn't tell me. Why they didn't tell me. What they didn't tell me. What they didn't tell me. So what do you think? Okay, this is like a tip how to put the team together, playing the games, asking about their vacation and meeting one-to-one. But you were talking a lot about trust, that don't hire people who are very professional, but hire people whom you trust. Can you explain that one, please?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a very big believer in this. So what I talk about in the book is that I've learned over the course of my career, there are 4 traits that you just absolutely cannot coach in people. There are traits that you can coach if someone needs help prioritizing, if they need help with public speaking, if they are good at generating a lot of work, but they have trouble just summarizing at an executive level. There's so many things that you can coach in people. The things I've learned you can't coach, and I know because I've tried and I've wasted my time, is if someone doesn't have a strong sense of integrity, a sense of accountability, someone who's collaborative, and someone who's positive. Okay, those 4 traits I've learned, if you don't have them, it's difficult for me to coach them into you. You can learn them on your own. I'm not saying you can't learn them, but what I've learned is I can't coach them in a job setting, right? They've got to figure that out on their own. And the reason those 4 traits are important to me is collectively, I know if someone has those traits, they have integrity, they're accountable, they're collaborative, and they're a positive person, I know I can trust them. And that's really important for me because I'm not a micromanager. I have been micromanaged in my career, and it's so demotivating, because you go to school, you get an education, you make the investment in yourself, you read books, you talk to people, you go to, different forums, you listen to podcasts like these, you're making an investment in yourself, and you want someone to trust you. So when a manager comes to you and tells you not only what they want you to do, but how they want you to do it, and they're very specific about it, that's really demoralizing. So I'm not that type of manager. I've also found when you're not a micromanager, you tend to attract absolutely incredible people, right? Because those are the types of people that you want to hire, the ones that you can just give them a task and then they're going to go do it on their own. And for me, I can't hire those people unless I know I can trust them. And so I look for those traits specifically. I look for them in interviews. I don't always get it right, but we do our best to screen for those traits. And that's ultimately one of the most important things is to be able to give someone a task or an objective, not a task. I really give people an objective because there are so many different ways that you can get to that objective. And if you can trust them, then they're then going to trust each other, and they're going to build teams that that they can trust. That was really the crux of the book.
Jawad, I would like to go back to this question because you didn't answer it. I asked you the first one. I said, how you are a very positive person yourself. I can see it, that you're always smiling and you are full of power. Even you don't like this word, okay, I will say you're full of energy. What are you doing with yourself? Because, to run a big team and to give hope to your team and to support them and to, you're like the captain of the ship. You cannot come one day and, in a very soft mood or very tired or very stressed. What are you doing to yourself to be that energetic?
Well, so a couple of things. First of all, I try to eat healthy. I try to get a lot of sleep. All the things that everyone just talks about, just as general health. But I'm energized by my team. So I'm starting my day. It's a little after 8 a.m. here. And after today, I've got a series of meetings. I was looking at my calendar, and I'm genuinely excited about my day because I get to work with these incredible people. That's part of, what I think is another side benefit of attracting rock stars, just really great people, is you're excited to work with them. And I've, generally, I've worked in places before where Sunday night comes around and you're looking at the week ahead, and you're not really excited about the week. You're not looking forward to, like, oh, I've got to talk to this person, or I've got to have that meeting. And
are you talking about General Electrics, or it's something else?
Maybe. Maybe. But I in my current situation, right, in my current job, I'm just so excited. Every week, I'm really excited about, what we're getting done. Our company is having an impact on saving lives. We make technology for law enforcement, tasers and body cameras. So the work we're doing is having an impact. And the people that we work with, they're also really energetic as well. And I get charged up by them.
You were saying in one of your books or in one of your podcasts, so make your team fail. It's not a big thing if they fail, because one day it will give them a chance to fly. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's another part of not being a micromanager, is you have to be okay with your team not succeeding. And I'm okay with that, because I failed in my career. There are times when I've not made the right decision or not done well in a meeting or presentation, or, there's lots of different ways I can define failure. And I've failed a lot in my career, and that's when I've learned the most. That's absolutely when I've learned the most, right? And it's made me stronger. And I want my team to experience the same. I don't want them to fail, but I want them to take a chance and know that it's okay. If you don't succeed, it's okay. I've got your back. You're not going to lose your job, right? We're going to get through this together. And the most important thing is, what did you learn from that experience, and how are you going to be better next time?
How many people, if it's not a secret information, in your team right now?
Overall, a little over 200. I have finance, our IT, information technology, legal, and then our consumer business report into me.
Whom you find it's easier to work with, men, women, is there something how you categorize? Because some people, they're working better with men, some people working better with women, some with younger, some with older. Are there any traits that you choose when you're working with somebody?
I really look for those traits, the ones I mentioned earlier. When someone has those traits, one of the I'll tell you that my favorite type of person to work with is, I ask everyone in interviews, what's your North Star? What are you driving towards in your career? And the person that says, I want to be a CEO, or I want to be, like leader of an organization, I love working with those types of people, because they have unlimited ambition and I can help them, figure out how to get to where they're going. I love working with people. Another question I ask is, I ask people to basically tell me when you're having a tough stretch of time, when you're facing adversity over a prolonged period of time, let me know what you're feeling and how you work through that. Okay. And 80% of people give me coping mechanisms. They say, I go for a walk, I listen to music, I take a bath, I drink some tea, I play with my dog or kids, right? They give me coping mechanisms. I'd say probably like 19% of people tell me some type of reframing, right? They say, well, I look at the situation a little differently, or I take a step back, or, I think about this is not going to be so bad. And they basically are reframing the challenge. 1% of people, 1%, very, very few people, they tell me what I really want to hear, which is, adversity is when I thrive. I look for the opportunity to grow, in adversity. That's something that I feel like I used to get really down on myself when I failed, or I wasn't going through, going through a rough patch. And what I learned was over time, this is one of the benefits of being a little older, is that those are the times that I grew the most, right? That's when the times that I felt like I was lowest in my career, what happened next was amazing, because I took some time to reflect on what wasn't working and what I could have done differently. And then I did do something differently, and I changed. And I think that's made me stronger.
So, Jawad, you said something very important. The most difficult time when you fell down, when you think that it's the end and you feel a kind of a loser, but at least not very pleasant feelings, that is the step. So in this in this moment when you fell down and you feel not that good, you recommend just to continue or to stop, to reflect, or, this is the moment actually where a lot of people give up.
Yeah.
They stop their business, or they divorce, or they, because somehow, I don't know how, but I think business and relationship, they look alike, because if you are successful here and there, it's your team also, it's like a family. So what you recommend, since you overcame that difficult times?
Yeah, you said the key word, which is to reflect. You should really take some time. Don't just power through. Don't just, ignore your feelings. You should really take time to feel your feelings. It's okay, right? There are times, even in my current job, where I make a decision that isn't the right one, or I say something I wish I didn't say, and it's okay to take some time and just reflect on how you're feeling, and just process that. But don't dwell on it too long, right? Just understand, okay, well, here's what I could have done differently. What's the lesson in it for me? What could I do differently next time? And really work at it. You can leave yourself reminders. I have on my screen, on my desktop monitor, I have little Post-it notes just to, remind myself, to go for a walk.
You're writing, I'm cool. I'm Jawad and I'm cool. What are you writing for yourself?
Well, one of the things I found is that, when you're sitting, this is one of the challenges of in this time during COVID, you're sitting at your desk all day. It's easy to go from one meeting to the next because you're just dialing into Zooms, and you forget to take a break. And I do some of my best thinking when I'm walking, when I'm away from my computer, when I'm away from my screen. So I have reminders for myself to go for a walk, just get away from the screen and get away from my phone, and just, get lost in my thoughts. That's when I do some of my best work.
That is very good. And my last question to you is about, you said that you're working with very ambitious people and who want to be CEOs, and who said, okay, this difficult time, I want to take the best out of it. Okay, these ambitious people, of course, they want to create their own businesses and they want to open their own companies. And maybe they think that they're not less than you. They should be your boss, not you should be their boss. How you make them work for you and with you?
So, yeah, that's a great question. I have a few folks on my team that work for me that could be CFOs themselves, and I've told them, if you ever get a call from a recruiter or someone wants to talk to you about being a CFO, you should go take that interview. Even if you don't take the job, you should go to the interview and just go through the process, because you've worked so hard over the course of your career to get to where you are. You have the ability, and I've worked with you long enough to know that you could be a CFO. It would be amazing for you, for yourself, for your career, for your family, right? For your career trajectory, for your earnings potential, if you could be a CFO, right? So you should at least go through the motion. I don't want to hold anyone back. I had a couple of managers that were very supportive of me, that I still keep in touch with. And, I personally, I believe it's like, what a mark of a great leader when they're able to develop someone who outshines them, right? I would love to see that. I would love to see one of my direct reports one day be, a CEO of a big company, and then they can give me a shout out. Just like if you're like winning an Oscar or a BAFTA or some type of Academy Award, and all the people get up on stage and they thank all the people that helped them get there. I would be thrilled to be part of that.
Jawad, do you think that your background is Pakistan, and you have still the blood from there? Do you think? I believe that East is little bit wiser than West. Maybe it's not politically correct to say like this, but I believe there is a lot of wisdom in the East. Do you think part of that philosophy is coming from your Eastern roots, or no?
I do. I can't argue with that. My parents were both from Pakistan, and even today, I still talk to them all the time. And a lot of the advice they give me, the way they look at the world, it is, more Eastern. And it is more, I'd say, philosophical. I am probably more, in touch with my feelings than most CFOs. And I'm okay with that, right? Because I think it makes me a good leader. So I think you're right.
Absolutely, because you remind me a little bit of Robin Sharma or something like that. People who have Eastern background, but who reached a very big success due to technology, to knowledge, to intelligence, to big work experience and desire to study. And you're doing that absolutely great. What you will recommend to hidden heroes, to people who are strong, nice, who want to reach big success, but still they're hidden by some reasons?
I just had a conversation about this yesterday with someone that I would consider a hidden hero. And this person set up time with me. They said, "Hey, I read your book and I'm trying to define my North Star, but I don't know what it should be." And I said, "You should aim as high as possible." And they said, "Well, I could never be a CEO. Like I don't have that type of education. I don't have what it takes." And I said, "No, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You do have what it takes." This is one of the biggest misconceptions, is that people think that, oh, I see a Mark Zuckerberg, I see Elon Musk, and these people were somehow chosen. They work really hard. I found, I was very fortunate. I went to business school at MIT, and I was surrounded by really, really smart people. And what I learned about intelligence is that it's almost exclusively perseverance and how hard you work, right? That is more important. Grit and hard work and perseverance is more important than raw intelligence. And, one of the things I say to illustrate that is when you're solving a really tough problem, the most important thing you can do is how you frame that problem, how you frame the question, not the actual answer, because how you frame it will make answering the problem easier, or the question easier. And so the biggest differentiator I find between people that go all the way to where they want to go versus people who don't is confidence, is self-confidence. You have to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, then no one else will. If you don't have confidence that you can get to where you want to go, other people pick up on that, right? Whether you're interviewing someone to be a CEO or CFO, if you're interviewing them because you want to cast them in a movie, you want to know that this person is going to be someone that people believe in, right? Are investors going to believe in this person? Customers, are they going to galvanize and inspire employees? And if you don't have that self-confidence, if you can't project that, no one's going to give that to you. You've got to really have it yourself. So I would encourage everyone, for the hidden heroes, have confidence in yourself. There is absolutely no ceiling. Do not put a ceiling on yourself. You can go as far as you want. You just you've got to put the work in.
You have a very big talent for inspiration. And are you working as a mentor with people, or it's not allowed for you because you're part of it?
I love it. I love doing it. That's why.
Really?
Yes.
I think that is great. I'm very happy that we met you, and I'm sure it will be great for our audience to know that you exist. And I think that you can do great mentoring, because you see these things. The thing that you said, it's better to think how to ask the question, and the answer will come. This is actually a very powerful statement. Thank you so much. It was really a big pleasure. You revealed a lot of secrets to us, and really big pleasure to know you. I enjoyed very much our talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. My book is available on Amazon. You can also go to